Hey everyone, Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College. We'll talk a little bit about Coltrane substitutions, why I don't find them particularly useful for reharmonization, but some pretty interesting songs have been written using what they call the Coltrane Changes. And I'm using this book as a reference, and I had a request to do some more stuff out of this book, which I'm going to do. And it's called Creative Jazz Improvisation by Scott D. Reeves. And somebody told me it was out of print, and I see that this particular version of the book is pretty expensive if you want to buy it. But I think there's a kind of a new edition of it that's out that's probably reasonably priced. So, if you like some of the stuff I'm going to share with you from this book, buy a copy yourself. Let's take a look at what they call Coltrane Changes. So it takes the place of just a simple 2-5-1. And the way you do it is you go up a half step to a dominant chord. All right? And so all of a sudden now, our key center is A flat, which is a major third away from C. We started off with a 2-5-1 in C, but we quickly move to the key center of A flat. And then we move another third to the key center of E. So we'll do B7 to E before moving back another third to our key center, original key center of C. Okay? Now, of course, Giant Steps is based on this theory. And also, I believe a song called Countdown is. And there's an old standard, Have You Met Miss Jones, where the bridge also moves in major thirds. And I think, these three songs are two great uses of what they call Coltrane Changes. Now, I was just listening to John Coltrane play the George Gershwin song, But Not For Me. And I think this is a really great song. But the Coltrane Changes just seem to kind of, the problem with them is you can't reharmonize the original melody using Coltrane Changes. You always have to alter the melody so much that it doesn't even really sound like the original song. So, if you're going, and here's the example, key center of E flat, next key center is going to be B, next one's going to be G, and then E flat again. So far, so good. Now, right here, that's a note that doesn't really work in E flat, right? So far, so good, but you kind of have to change the melody to E flat minor there. And then when you get to D, nothing from E flat really works there. You've got to kind of side slip E flat major down to D major, because our key center there is going to be G, and the D chord is part of that chord too, and then back to E flat. So some examples now of how to construct a line. Let's take a look at Have You Met Miss Jones? Because here, the melody and the chords work really well together. So we know the song, or maybe you don't. It's starting here. I'll put the chart in the description. And typically, a little reharm there. That really does work. So, now we're in B flat. But we're going to move from B flat to G flat to D, and then actually back to G flat again, before settling back into the key of F. So, Here comes a 2-5-1 into G flat, a 2-5-1 into D, and back to the G flat, and then very nicely a 2-5-1 back into F. Sounds pretty good. So getting into that B flat section. Now, do you have to do a 2-2-5-1 to G flat? No, you could just do, a 5-1. Take D flat. So, right, just to D flat, then to A, right, because it moves to D, and then back to, what would it be, D flat again, and then, all right, so that's just using the 5 chords, in other words, dominant chords, to take us to the new key center, rather than a 2-5-1, we just use the 5. I'll demonstrate that again. Here's getting into B flat. And here it is with using the whole 2-5-1. So 2-5-1, 2-5-1. All right, now I'm using some rootless voicing. So let me just put the roots on the bottom so you can really understand.